welcome back to my channel, The Unemployed Reader. My name's Anthony. So for this video, I decided that I wanted to do it about 3 books that I read at the very beginning of this year that were my first 5 stars of the year. And they're also, like I said before, most of what my taste is in mystery, thrillers, and fantasy. And these 3 are they're not that. Well, one is fantasy, but it's like a middle grade fantasy. And the other one is a contemporary fiction. And then we have a autobiography, which I don't really read a lot of, but I've liked the 2 that I read in the past 2 years. So maybe that's telling me to read more. So yeah, I thought we would get into that. I have physical copies of all these books, but what happened was I was supposed to move back to Vancouver in the summer, and then some stuff happened where I ended up staying where I am longer, but I shipped a bunch of my books back. So 2 of them, I don't actually have physical copies. So we'll just have to like do the on-screen thing. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first book I read, which was my 5 star of 2025, was Impossible Creatures by Katherine Rundell. I think everyone knows what this is. It's pretty popular. It just got bought by Disney for I don't know if they're doing movies or if it's going to be TV shows on Disney Plus, but they brought the property for a very, very good amount of money. So congrats to her. But this book definitely felt like, I think I said in another video, I read middle grade every once in a while and like YA as well, because I don't know, there's something about that nostalgia from like, I mean, what got me really into reading were like the Harry Potters and the Chronicles of Narnia and all of those books, Artemis Fowl, when I was younger. So sometimes I'm like, oh, let's like see what the current middle grade and YA is like. And Impossible Creatures was really, really good. So for those of you that don't know, it's about this boy named Christopher, and he finds out that he is a caretaker for the archipelago, yeah, which is a cluster of islands. I think it's off the coast of England, and there's all these magical creatures. So the creatures that we don't have in our world that we hear about, like unicorns and dragons and griffins and all that, are there. But then our animals are not. So like an elephant or a giraffe, I can't remember the actual because I read it back in January. What, especially the one that they mentioned in the book, like are mystical creatures for them. So that was kind of cool. It basically starts when he finds a griffin drowning and he saves the griffin, and then he ends up talking with his grandpa, who is the current caretaker, and he gets swept up into the archipelago and goes on this crazy adventure. He meets this girl named Mal, and was it was so enchanting. The whole world was enchanting. The story was enchanting. It flew by. It's obviously easy. It's an easy read. It's a good middle grade. And I think anyone who wants to like, sounds cheesy, but like read a book to get to their inner child imagination, this one is definitely one you should do. My second 5 star of 2025 was The Rachel Incident by Carolyn O'Donoghue. This book right here, so freaking good. I feel like if you're a millennial, like 33 and above, like I don't know, are we called older millennials? I think that's what we're called, unfortunately. You should read this book because well, there's a dual timeline, but most of it takes place in 2009 in Ireland, and it's about this girl named Rachel Murray. She's 20 years old at the time, and she is kind of in a rebellious phase. She's going to college. She works at this bookstore, and she meets this guy who becomes her best friend named James, and he's a gay guy, and he ends up sleeping with her very married straight teacher, and that's all I'll say. It just gets more and more stuff happen, and it was so funny. It was poignant. It was like emotional, and there was a really nice nostalgia factor. I know there's like a lot of like remakes of movies and stuff that's coming out that are really popular and like popularizing the late 90s and early 2000s because of nostalgia, but that's not what this is. Like, it's not like a forced thing. Like, it's so the author did such a great job of encapsulating that time, and like she has song references and movie references throughout that. I was like, oh my god, like I was doing this. Like, I was in the club dancing to this song. I was at this bar. So I think, yes, if you are in your 30s, like mid late 30s, maybe early 40s, you will love this book. I saw it on a couple people's booktube pages who they really liked it, and I was like, oh, what is this? Because again, like it's out of my wheelhouse, but the plot sounded interesting, and I'm so glad I read it. I can't say enough about it. I told all my friends to please read it. If you haven't, check it out. You will not be disappointed. The third a five-star book that I read this year was Dinner for Vampires by Bethany Joy Lenz. So again, I'm aging myself. Playing into nostalgia factor, I was a huge One Tree Hill fan. One Tree Hill and OC basically were like my late teenage, early 20-year TV shows. And Bethany Joy Lenz was one of the actors on it. She played Haley. Excuse me. And I always actually thought she was the best actress out of like best actor on the cast. I had a crush on Sophia Bush because she's beautiful, but well, so is Bethany. But my crush was on Sophia because I also like the bad girls. Like I liked Summer on the OC. I liked, Gossip Girl more Blair than Serena. I think it's because I'm gay and I want to be like friends with like I used to want to be friends with like the bitchy girls. There's probably some weird psychological problematic thing with that, but that's how I was. So anyway, even though Sophia Bush was like my crush at the time, I thought Bethany was an amazing actress, and I was always curious as to why her career didn't take off as much as I thought it should. She definitely didn't go on to do as much as Sophia or Hillary or Chad, and now we kind of know why because she was in a cult. So that's right. The whole story is about like it's her autobiography. It starts off when she's younger, and she talks about that with her parents. She ends up moving to LA to pursue acting, and she gets kind of sucked up into this cult. And what I found really interesting about the whole thing was because, without like giving too much away, it's easy for people to judge like, oh, why would someone do that? Why would someone get sucked up into that? Like, how could someone believe this was real? Why would they be in a cult? But the way that she describes it happening, it's almost like sometimes it's too late because like she's there in the city alone, she's making friends, she becomes part of this group, and then it just go stuff happens. But it answered my question as to why she didn't have a more lucrative. I mean, I think she's on a bunch of Hallmark stuff, so like now, so not like she's but more lucrative career because this cult was keeping her back from getting certain jobs. She had a very controlling husband who was also in the cult. It's just really interesting and fascinating how she got out of it and how everything happened. So if you're a fan of like the early 2000s teen shows, if you were a CW fan at all, if you liked One Tree Hill, if you like cults, then I think this book is probably going to be for you because it was very illuminating in some ways for me. Anyway, so those are my first three 5 stars of 2025. I'm gonna do another one probably at the end of the year with the rest because the other ones are more in line with my mystery thrillers and fantasy that I read. And I just wanted to do this quick video, say hi to you guys, see what's going on, and I'll be back. Bye.